game with Doug. Brand new mug. Come here, kid. Give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I don't want to go to bed at night dreading waking up in the morning, knowing that I'm going to feel like a rusty lawn chair, getting out of bed and getting opened up and not being able to really move for a couple hours really throughout the day.
For former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter and those dealing with daily aches and pains, QC Kinetics regenerative pain treatments are a game changer, providing long-lasting relief.
Go into a specific joint, a specific region, and then help promote that healing process using your own body's mechanisms to heal. I mean, that's been something that's pretty powerful, and there's no surgery, there's no downtime.
QC Kinetics natural treatments help the body heal and restore itself. No more rusty lawn chair.
It's no surprise to see people being willing to try this first, especially when it has such great results.
Pain relief the natural way. QC Kinetics. Call today for your complimentary consultation. Find out if you're a good candidate for treatment.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Cordell Transportation is hiring third shift dispatcher / customer service representatives. Excellent pay, great benefits, no experience necessary, and paid training. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com or stop in today at 2942 Boulder Avenue in Dayton. Equal opportunity employer.
Justin Kennard, Kev Nash with you live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. We are off and rolling. Kennard and Kev with you here on a Thursday. Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, though?
Excited for I wore you made fun of me today for wearing shorts. I went ahead. When I went home for lunch and changed, I was feeling a little, worried about my looks and all.
I mean, I know it's 62 degrees outside right now.
Yeah,
but it's windy.
But it's not a cold wind. It's just windy.
Still wind, and it's still the winter.
Valid. However, that don't matter. I'm always looking for an excuse to wear shorts. My jeans barely fit, so anytime I can kind of go back and wear things that actually fit, like my shorts right now, I'm all about it. But I put the old sweatpants on and put a hoodie on before I came back after my lunch break. Professional during the day, unprofessional during the show. It's okay.
I didn't mean to shame you. I was just questioning you.
You fat shamed me. You didn't even realize it. Didn't even realize. You didn't even realize that it was a fat reason why I was wearing shorts, because the jeans are a little snug.
You do not remind me of my brother.
Yeah, that's good. All right, everybody. Hope everyone had a great day. We are off and rocking here on a Thursday. Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson. He joins us 20 minutes from now, about 15 minutes from now, actually. Excited to catch up with him ahead of Super Bowl 57, the Chiefs and the Eagles. And, of course, I always love trying to get a few extra questions in NBA Trade Deadline. Off and rocking right now. Luke Kennard, former Franklin Wildcats. He is no longer a Los Angeles Clipper. He is now part of the Memphis Grizzlies. So he was kind of interesting kind of hearing his name. It is still pretty cool from a local perspective. Luke Kennard is that's not a foreign name to us. We know that name very, very well. But we watched him grow up. We watched him, from high school. We watched him during his time at Duke. We watched him, get drafted on NBA draft night, going to the Pistons. Then, of course, going to the Clippers. He got a mega deal. A mega deal. He was dating the Chrisley girl. But, by the way, the Chrisley knows best. Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't they going to jail?
Oh, they are in jail.
Okay.
Not her, though. Not former Kennard. Not, he got remarried. Not remarried. He was never married, but he got married, I guess, recently. But,
okay.
But that was interesting, too. But no, how about this? So the wrestling fans can relate to this.
Wrestling.
The Chrisleys are in jail, but they've started a new season. How cool is that? They have some change waiting for them when they get out, so they can reinvest it. Reinvest it, whatever you want to call it. But Luke Kennard on the go. And by the way, the trade deadline technically it's done. I know reports always come out later. I haven't hit refresh on Twitter in a while, but I'm telling you, I feel bad for Shams and Woj and all these other guys because they have just been on it today. I don't think Obi Toppin got moved. Obi Toppin was rumored to be moved. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, Kev. I did find that interesting that Obi Toppin, his name keeps getting brought up. The Indiana Pacers come out earlier today that they were showing heavy interest in Obi Toppin, but they ended up, the last I checked, they had already added, who did they add? He's been around in the league for George Hill. They added the Pacers added George Hill. I think George Hill was a Pacer many, many years ago, but they added George Hill, and then they added another post player that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But nonetheless, I bring that up because I think that means they're not going to get Obi Toppin. I don't think Obi's on the move. I think a lot of teams are interested in Obi Toppin, but they never, moved him. I think the Knicks like Obi. I think they have plans for Obi. I just think right now they haven't had a spot to use him. Who knows what's going to happen there? But nonetheless, I did find that interesting. Obi Toppin. Oh, yeah, Ibaka. Serge Ibaka and George Hill traded to the Pacers. And that came out about an hour after the report of them pursuing Obi Toppin. So clearly the Knicks did not move off of Obi unless something's happened between the show starting and now.
I haven't seen anything yet. The biggest thing I learned about today's trade deadline is second round picks. They are giving up 5 and 6 second round picks for players now. Like, that's crazy. Now, granted, second round picks aren't the same as they are in the NFL, where you're like, man, if you gave me 5 second round picks, I can totally overhaul my roster. But like, you're basically trying to just dump salary to get rid of said player, because he's not in your rotation, or you have another player that's just like him, that's on a better contract for your organization. And it's just crazy. I mean, I'm just looking at this name's not going to like really move the needle or anything like that. But Gary Payton II, who signed with Portland in the offseason, they just traded him back to Portland for 4 second round picks. It's just like a whole lot of weird stuff going on. I saw that Jay Crowder got traded to the Bucks for 5 second round picks.
So now, and again, I'm going through these, just kind of keeping an eye on kind of what's been kind of going on and moving around. But yeah, draft picks. And by the way, it's a lot of second rounders. I don't think teams value second round draft picks.
No.
If you go through and you can create, all-star teams that are just second round picks alone, you could do it, obviously. But I mean, the NBA, it's one of those where first round picks, those are gold. That's why the Lakers have been sitting on a potential opportunity to win more NBA championships, but they don't want to do it at the expense of their future, which is why they've been sitting on those. My favorite draft story, by the way, Malik Beasley and Scottie Pippen Jr.
Oh gosh.
They're teammates.
We're going TMZ today?
That's on Barstool Sports, same thing. But I didn't know that. I was reading that story today. That's kind of interesting. So Malik Beasley and Scottie Pippen are teammates now.
Junior.
Scottie Pippen Jr. are teammates now. It does involve Scottie Pippen, though.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Malik Beasley is dating Scottie Pippen Jr.'s mother.
Used to date.
Yeah. Okay, the picture floating around them holding hands and stuff.
That's
it's cute. It's adorable.
Guess who she's dating now?
Oh, who is she dating now?
Take a guess.
Is she dating Michael?
Close. Very
close. Who we got?
Michael Jordan's son.
Good for her. Good for her. Good for her.
She's dating Marcus Jordan.
Why hasn't she been on that show, Basketball Wives?
Man,
she would be perfect for that show.
Man, maybe she thinks
there's no more Tammy on that show, by the way. I don't watch. I don't watch it anymore. No more Tammy.
Drama. If I'm Scottie Pippen Jr., I'm like, can I get traded? I feel very awkward here now.
So other NBA trade deadline news. How about D'Angelo Russell?
D'Lo
going back to the Los Angeles Lakers. If you think about all the names that the Lakers have had at one point that they moved on from, some of them in the effort to get LeBron James and just others not working out a bit. If you bring all of them back, this is the problem. The Lakers are why I have a problem with the NBA, and the NBA is slowly turning into Major League Baseball. It's why I don't think the draft matters. The draft, like we have to wait. The Pistons or the Celtics, for instance. This Jaylen Brown / Tatum Celtics roster, they've been around for quite a while. And they just hit their stride really last year. They really 2 years ago. But right now, like the final product is here as far as who they are. Not that they can't get better, but like they've reached their peak stardom, right? But they've had to be in the league for 5, 6, 7 years. As a fan, I'm not interested in waiting 5, 6, 7 years. That's why baseball sucks, because the draft, they try to hype it up. And I hear about the Reds and a rebuilding team and all these prospects. The only reason we give it more time of day is because we do have the Dragons here. So we at least get to see it up close and personal a little bit. But even by the time they go through the minors and then obviously get called up to the Rockies, then you have to let them develop for a couple years. That's why baseball stinks. because I don't feel like waiting 5-6 years for you to develop. I love Jason Tatum. I love some of these guys right now, but the fact that I'm thinking about, man, they've been around forever and they're 24, they're 25, they're young, but I don't want to watch them develop in the main roster. I don't care. This is why all these teams trading for all these draft picks, Kev. I don't care because, my God, by the time they actually finally use them, then we got to wait 5-6 more years to find out if they're any good. The Lakers are a prime example of this, by the way. People rip them. I don't think it's necessarily fair to rip them. When they moved on from Ball and they moved on from all of these guys, they were right to move on from them. But now you would love to have Kuzma back. Now you would love to have, they got D'Lo back. D'Lo was, he finally had that big breakout year. You would love to get what's the cat with the Knicks, taking all Obi's time. They would love to have Julius Randle back. If they would have kept Josh Hart, all those guys, they would have kept all of those guys and kept LeBron. They would actually be a significantly better team than what they are right now, and they'd probably be a top 3 team in the Western Conference. Well, the Western Conference kind of got shaken up a little bit over the last week. But your thoughts on that? I hate draft picks. I hate waiting on players to develop. I'm just not patient. I want my money, and I want it now.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. And, I mean, you're not patient. The organizations aren't patient, especially when you're a storied franchise like the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, you want to win and you want to keep winning. So you draft these players. They play like young players. And then once they start to turn the corner, like, oh, well, this free agent is available. Let's go ahead and trade him for a established player. And then he goes to the next team, and then he becomes what he was always going to become, which is an all-star. And then now you're looking at him like, man, we should have kept him. Like, think about all those guys. You talked about Julius Randle, Kuzma, Lonzo, D'Lo.
Ingram. I forgot about Ingram.
Brandon Ingram. Like, that's a starting 5 right there if you were patient. And that's why, like, that people complain about free agency or complain about the movement of the NBA. Well, it's also the teams. The teams are trading these dudes, especially the young guys, the guys that have quote unquote power and cachet. Those are the veterans. The young players have no pull. They can't do anything about it. They basically go where they're told. So when you rewind it to a team like the OKC Thunder that was built through the draft, or even Golden State Warriors built through the draft, the Celtics, you talked about Tatum and Brown, built through the draft. The Lakers had their team built through the draft. They blew it up, obviously, to get LeBron James. Pretty sure it was worth it because they ultimately got one of the best basketball players of all time and won an NBA championship. But you can't tell me that Los Angeles Laker Nation isn't thinking like, man, I really wish we still had all those dudes because all of them are really good.
And that's the thing, too. And by the way, the other reason LA didn't do it wrong is because LA fans, they're not patient either.
Right.
Like LA fans ripping the Lakers saying, man, we should have never moved on from Ingram with these. Oh, stop. Because if you would have kept them all and had those 500 seasons, below 500 seasons, 1 or 2 more years you would have called them all bums. But now they've all emerged on separate teams. You bring them all back together, it's one thing. But former Buckeye D'Angelo Russell being traded back to the Lakers, it's wild too because he played with Kobe.
Right.
His rookie year was Kobe's last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So what's crazy about that is like D'Angelo's been around for quite a few years in the league too. But look, it took him 4 or 5 years before he finally emerged. So that's my problem. Well, not really a problem. It is what it is, but even the contracts aren't set up to allow teams to be patient. You have to give a max contract or a big time rookie extension after 4 years. And some of these guys aren't ready after 4 years. Then you move on from them. I didn't blame the Lakers for moving on from Kuzma. He didn't look good when he was with the Lakers. Now they look like fools, but I don't blame them. When they moved on from Kuzma, I'm like, yeah, he's not looking the part. He's not doing what he's supposed to. Now he is. Russell, he goes on. He has that great year. When the Lakers moved on, I didn't have a problem with it. I understood why they moved on from him. He wasn't showing signs of anything. Boom, he emerges. So it's either they're not developing, which that could be part of the problem too, and maybe it's not a coincidence that they leave LA and then they all just take off, or is it the amount of time out of college and the amount of years in the league before their body and their mind and everything, the game just starts coming more natural to them, and then they take off.
For me, it's D'Angelo Russell is a 19, 20-year-old coming out of Ohio State, playing with Kobe Bryant. Like, how do you think that's going to work out? Like, it's not going to work out the way he's envisioning in his head. He's thinking like, oh man, I'm about to play with Kobe. I'm about to soak up all this knowledge from Kobe. I'm about to be the next Black Mamba. And Kobe Bryant is there to get buckets in his last year. And then when you think about LeBron James and Kuzma, the offense is not about to run through Kuzma. We're not about to run any plays for you. You're going to have to go get yours off the dirty work. You're going to have to go get your points off the glass. You're going to have to knock down these open shots that I give you. Now that he's with the Wizards, he's allowed to touch the ball. He's allowed to play with the ball. The plays are run for him. He's initiating the offense. And same thing that happened with Brandon Ingram. Like, all right, I get to touch the ball. I get to do my thing with the ball, as opposed to like, all right, I have to fit into a system. And fitting into a system at 18, 19 years old is difficult, way more difficult than somebody that's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years. Like, you could plop basically anybody that's been a 5-10 year veteran into any system and they know their role, like a Jay Crowder. There's a reason why he's such a coveted piece, because he fits a specific role. 3 and D. You're going to play hard-nosed defense, and you're going to knock down corner threes. That is your role. You know your role. That's why he's a coveted player. That's why the Bucks gave up 5 second-rounders for him.
Yeah. Last thing here, again, just opening the show, reacting to NBA trade deadline. I know a lot of people out there who don't care about the NBA. There seems to be a lot of interest in the NBA today. In fact, for those of you out there who try to say that the NBA doesn't matter anymore, it's the week of the Super Bowl, and you turn on any channel, it's been all about Kyrie being traded to the Mavericks.
Hit the music.
Oh, so yes, you're right. You're right. Hold on. Sorry, this mouse, you got to, hold on. There it is.
Now we could talk NBA.
Small market radio mouse. My bad. But yes, no one cares about the NBA. Why are you guys talking NBA? Who cares about the NBA? Turn on every show around for the last week. Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl 57. That's not what's being talked about. It's being squeezed in. You could tell networks are like, we have to talk Super Bowl, right. Super Bowl week. It's been about Kyrie and the Dallas Mavericks. It's been about Kevin Durant being traded to the Suns. We haven't talked about that. It's been about LeBron breaking the all-time scoring record. It's been about Russell Westbrook being traded. Tom Brady retiring. That's not NBA related, but my point is, holy moly, the NBA has dominated headlines. And then today, a couple things that kind of hit a little bit closer here. Obi Toppin not traded. He still remains a Knick. Every report I've come across so far, he's not going to be moved. And then Luke Kennard, former Franklin Wildcat. He is no longer with the Clippers. He was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. They needed 3-point shooting. Obviously, Luke, awesome lefty. He's going to provide that spark for them. They definitely need that. But Luke Kennard and John Morant, how about that?
Backcourt of the next generation.
Pretty cool. All right, guys, we're going to step away for a few moments. For those of you who want us to get back to the NFL, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about Joe Burrow's contract situation in Cincinnati, Lamar in Baltimore. We're going to talk about that with Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson. He's going to join us next. We'll, of course, talk Super Bowl 57. We're going to get to all of that. Super Bowl champ Keyshawn, he joins us next.
Folks, when you feed your dog, does he just stand there and look at you? Make your dog great again with premium foods from Homestead Feed and Supply. If it eats, we can feed it. 1833 North Dayton Lakeview Road, New Carlisle. Tell them the Colonel sent you.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What are the advantages of shopping at Chevrolet of Troy? Selection has never been better. With over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles available, we always accept employee and supplier pricing, and we make financing easy. Customer service is our top priority. We care about you. With thousands off MSRP, a full-service state-of-the-art dealership, and huge selection. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop today. 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kennard and Cav with you live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Super Bowl 57 coming up this Sunday. And, of course, you have the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl 57 action. And that's been kind of hard to focus on the Super Bowl with all of the things going on in other sports that have kind of taken away the headlines, which rarely happens when you think about the National Football League. But Joining us now to talk all things Super Bowl 57, of course. He's a Super Bowl champion himself. He's 1/3 of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, which you can catch weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 1410 ESPN Radio and, of course, across all ESPN Radio platforms. We got Keyshawn Johnson hanging out with us now. First off, Key, welcome. Appreciate your time today. Look, you just kind of, we're just talking about it. Over the last 2 weeks, you've had Tom Brady's retirement, Kyrie Irving being traded to the Dallas Mavericks. You have LeBron James breaking the, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. Kevin Durant now on the Phoenix Suns. I mean, it has been a wild 2 weeks that is usually dominant as far as NFL headlines are concerned. It's been pretty quiet out of the NFL. It's been the NBA and other sports dominating all the headlines.
Well, it never really builds momentum with a 2-week gap, right? It never does. It'll start to build the momentum Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. I think that's always been the case. You try to find storyline. The storyline is young Jalen Hurts. The storyline is 2 African-American young quarterbacks appearing in the Super Bowl for the first time. That's the storyline. Andy Reid playing against his old team where there's been 3 or 4 guys that the last time the Philly Andy Reid coached the team, he drafted these guys. I mean, those are the storylines. That's the juicy stuff. It doesn't start to build up, though, until probably this evening.
Keyshawn, one of the big things that I wanted to talk to you about is Lamar Jackson. Obviously, the Ravens are going to present him with the franchise tag. If Lamar called you and said, Key, give me some advice about what I should do about this whole contract situation, what advice would you give him?
I probably would tell him to keep fighting for it. First of all, I would say, how much money have you saved? He'd tell me, I saved this. Okay. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Do you want to play football? He'll probably say, yeah. So at that point, I'll ask him, what's the most important thing? Is it being the highest paid quarterback? Is it being treated fairly? Is it what is it? And he would give me his goals, and then from there, I could give him the advice. Some people want to be the highest paid. Some people want to be treated fairly. It all depends on how you feel in that situation. Because one thing he can't do is he can't count somebody else's money and what another franchise does for him. But what I would honestly tell him is, if you got enough money saved right now and you good, don't go throw a football for them at all. Let them figure it out. Let them figure it out. Well, okay, well, I mean, if they think they can win with Huntley, let them try it. See how that goes. I've been in contract disputes before. And I've told, go right ahead, line up with them and see how they work out for you.
Key, the AFC North is like beyond interesting right now when it comes to quarterbacks. Obviously, the Browns, sent shockwaves down the quarterback market last year with the contract they got done with Deshaun Watson. And obviously that's impacted the negotiations with Lamar and the Ravens. And another contract negotiation thing that's about to get going is Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. And all of this is happening at one time. And obviously there's teams that want to get it done, sooner so that number doesn't keep being kicked down the road. But I am curious. I heard Jamar Chase last night. He was kind of asked about the status of Joe Burrow and the contract and thoughts on that. It wasn't said in a negative way, but he just, he felt like Jamar said, hey, he makes enough money. He makes pretty good money, and he feels he's going to get it done as far as, doing what's best to keep the weapons around him. How do you see what's happening in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson? How do you see this Joe Burrow Cincinnati Bengals contract situation working out? Is it going to be as drama filled, do you think, as what we're seeing in Baltimore?
I don't think so. I think that Cincinnati will give him exactly what, he deserves. And I think Baltimore will come around and give Lamar what he deserves as well. The Deshaun Watson contract certainly threw a monkey wrench in a lot of discussions on how to approach certain contracts. But in the end, the one thing that the guys can do, they can play football. And the one thing that the owners can't do, they can't play. So in order to win games, you got to have them on the field. And they will eventually pay them, just like Josh Allen, just like Dak Prescott. Everybody in the end gets their money.
No, you're right. Everyone does get their money. And what's interesting is, and I'm curious how much you deal with this with your various listeners. Again, you do a national show. It's a little different, obviously, but we get so many Bengals fans that call into our show here. We're in Dayton, so just an hour, north of Cincinnati a little bit, but it is
interesting. I know about Dayton.
Yeah. It's interesting how many Bengals. What's that?
I know about Jefferson County and Dayton.
Yeah, last time you talked about the Bob Evans. You said that's all there was.
Yeah, Bob Evans and all that.
But no, Bengals fans keep calling in, and they swear, most of them, they swear Joe Burrow's going to give him a discount. He's going to give him that team discount so they can keep this train rolling.
I mean, he is. Instead of him making $45 million, he'll take $42 million. Yeah, that's the discount.
Transitioning back over to the Super Bowl, man. From my perspective, man, I think that Philadelphia just has more overall talent. I mean, obviously Patrick Mahomes is like at a next level at the quarterback position, but if you look at everything else, especially defensively, not only the defensive line, linebackers, corners, I mean, I just think that Philly just has more than Kansas City.
They do from front to back. When you talk about some of the things they can do in the secondary, Kansas City secondary is young. You got, Bradbury and Slay and company back there. So when you talk about that, or you look at Fletcher Cox and company and Tom Reddick, no, Kansas City's got some pieces too, but I just think from front to back, Philadelphia has a little more depth.
What do you think about Sirianni making his first appearance in the Super Bowl? Obviously, Andy Reid's been there before.
It's interesting because a lot of people were mixed feelings on Sirianni at the start. Now everybody seems to be dialed in and ready to go with him and ride with him. He's done a tremendous job over the 2 years that he's been there, both playoff appearances and now a Super Bowl appearance. So you got to tip your hat off to him. And as long as he doesn't take these 2 weeks and pull a Sean McVay, where Sean was changing things and messing around and just instead of just sticking to it, spend too much time worrying about getting everything perfect and then costing himself during the game because he's overthinking it.
Key, we have a former NFL player, Keith Byers. He hosts a show for us here in Dayton, and it's fun working with him. He's played in the Super Bowl, and, it's always fun picking his brain and him, kind of walking us through what the week is like building up to the Super Bowl. You mentioned a little bit ago that tonight is when you really start to feel kind of the build towards Super Bowl 57. I'm curious, I've talked with Keith about his experience, being a Super Bowl champion yourself. What is this week like? At what point did it become real for you as a player? Because I'm sure the 2 week build, you're having fun and you're doing all the fun stuff that comes with this. But at what point did, I'm playing in a Super Bowl? When did that moment become real for you in that week leading up to the Super Bowl that you won?
Well, we didn't have a 2 week build. There was no week in between when I played. I don't know why that was, but it wasn't. We went from bashing in Philadelphia's head to Tampa Bay that Sunday after the game. We landed, celebrate, whatever, go home, pack, come back Monday afternoon and fly to San Diego. And we really started hitting the ground running from a practice preparation standpoint on Wednesday. And it was like a normal week for us. But our curfews earlier in the week was a little bit later. And as the week wore on, they got closer and tighter to normal bedtime. And that's really what it was. We spent Sunday night and Monday getting all the hotels and ticket reservations out the way so we didn't have to deal with that over the course of the week. And, we just went out there and steamrolled the Raiders and kept it moving.
Yeah, y'all did them dirty. Y'all did them dirty. Dexter Jackson, Simeon Rice got after it. But transitioning over to the NBA, man, we know we got to talk NBA with you. I mean, LeBron James, all-time leading scorer officially. Is he officially a Los Angeles Laker now?
No. LeBron is respected by Laker fans and whatnot. Hadn't been here long enough, even though he's won a championship. When you talk about guys as official Lakers, they have 10 years or whatever the case. So they got just multiple championships, Shaq, Kobe, those type of guys are official Lakers. I don't think LeBron did most of his work for other teams. So it's very difficult to embrace him as an official Laker because most of his work was done in Miami and Cleveland.
Last thing before we let you go, man, Kyrie and KD, they're both in new spots. Will it work for them?
I think it will. I think KD will work good in Phoenix because of Chris Paul and Booker. Two guys that's been there. They understand the landscape of the Phoenix marketplace and what the organization is all about. And then you obviously got Nico Harris, who's running the show over in Dallas, and you got Jason Kidd, so they can touch and talk to Kyrie and get them on the same page. Kyrie went for 24 last night in his debut against the Los Angeles Clippers. and hit the ground running. So that just goes to show you right then and there, he's still one of the best players in the NBA, regardless of what people may think about him personally.
All right, good stuff. 1/3 of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 1410 ESPN Radio, and of course across all ESPN Radio platforms. Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson, awesome enough to spend some time with us here today on the show. Key, appreciate your time. On the way out, quick, Eagles, Chiefs, who you got in Super Bowl 57?
So you got to talk to me tomorrow because I ain't picking nothing till tomorrow.
It was worth the shot. It was worth the shot.
All right.
Hey, take care. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, is officially live in Ohio. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime and anywhere right here in Ohio with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with code WING1410 and bet $5 or more will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. The Super Bowl is coming up, and I got Philadelphia on the money line, plus their defense to score a touchdown. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers can use code WING1410 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. That's code WING1410. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and up. Physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositor who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See dkng.co/OH for terms.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Do you have an oak tree in your yard? The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices while preventing a fungal disease called oak wilt. They remind those who own and manage oak trees the best time to prune is November to early March. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified tree experts in Ohio. To find an ISA-certified arborist in your area, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
If you're looking to obtain a quality education at a low price, look no further than Clark State. With over 160 degrees and certificates available, Clark State has a path for you to reach your goals. Our tuition rates are one of the lowest in Ohio, so getting that degree is easier than ever without breaking the bank. For more information about Clark State, visit us at www.clarkstate.edu.
Need an online notary? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. We can notarize your documents remotely at no charge to you. All you need is a smartphone or laptop. Visit courthouseto.com for more info.
When I got the news, I was shocked. I was scared. I was angry. When I heard it could be treated with the right care, I was relieved. I was happy. I was given a second chance.
Urology Specialists of Ohio offers men peace of mind. 5 physicians and 5 locations. Now accepting new patients. Make an appointment with a physician that cares about your health and prevention. Urology Specialists of Ohio, Beaver Creek, Springfield, Urbana, Xenia, and London. Online at urologyspecialistsofohio.com.
Light up your home and race to savings now at Menards. Sylvania's TrueWave LED bulbs provide the closest thing to natural sunlight. This helps you feel better and see things more easily by offering an enhanced color experience with exceptional contrast. Receive a $10 rebate with a purchase of $40 or more on Sylvania True Wave LED bulbs. Race in now. Good through February 11th. Savings are mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our ultimate Sleep Number event. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
When you least expect it, life happens. You can count on McAfee's 24/7 service to be there when it does. Any season, anytime, McAfee.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Kennard and Cav back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Good stuff from Keyshawn Johnson, Super Bowl champion. He was just hanging out with us just a little bit ago, of course. We talked Eagles and Chiefs and all that fun stuff, but the Lamar Jackson and the Joe Burrow contract stuff, that's going to be the stuff that we're going to be following the most heading into the offseason because the Bengals are at the point now where we don't care about the draft with them. And that's a good thing. The draft, the Browns, they won enough games to where we don't really care about their draft. Now, they don't have a first-round draft pick on top of that. But, again, the draft, when you have draft picks, it's supposed to be the purpose of the draft pick is to land you franchise-changing talent. And yes, they don't have first-round picks, but how tough is it to find quarterbacks? They use those picks to go get a quarterback. And that's where the Browns are at this point. Ryan Holzapfel, during that conversation with the Keyshawn Johnson, Kev, he says, shocker, the Deshaun Watson contract threw a wrench into other quarterback deals. Now, not every time we talk Bengals, it has to be confrontational between Browns and Bengals. I don't think necessarily that's what that was. But at the same time, what I'm going to say is, yes, this is why I don't mind what the Browns did, Kev. The thing is, the Browns have very, very rich owners. They have no problem spending the money. Now, the difference is you have a lot of, there's a cap for everyone. Everyone is operating on equal playing ground as far as how they can construct the rosters. Some teams, though, have the right personnel in the front office to be able to get things done and be able to kind of find loopholes. And you know what I mean? That's where Andrew Berry comes into play. And they've been able to find ways to, give all that guaranteed money to Deshaun Watson, but they're able to restructure some things and they're able to kind of kick that can down the road. I mean, they alpha it up a lot. I mean, they do a lot of stuff like that. So at the end of the day, Kev, I don't have a problem with what the Browns did because if what they did is, hey, if we can get our franchise quarterback and knowing that the Bengals aren't the most stable front office out there and really throw a wrench into their plans, although they are going to take care of Burrow, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be a very bumpy ride for them. If you guys think it's just going to be very easy for them, it's not. And then, right in the middle of a Ravens negotiation with their quarterback, we're going to throw a wrench in that too. I'm sorry, but y'all can rip the Browns all you want. I have no problem with what they did from that standpoint. Of course, there was that side to it. Of course, there was a little dig in there in trying to, we're going to get our quarterback and make those other teams' lives hell too because they're about to embark on negotiations with their QBs. Kev, I have no problem with it. If any other team did this, we'd be saying, man, that front office, they're smart. They got their quarterback and they're creating problems for other teams and how they put their rosters together. Good for Cleveland. But because it's Cleveland, we're mad. We're angry. Cleveland did the right thing when it came to that. You could talk about the wrong thing as far as the morals when it comes to Deshaun Watson, which I'm getting so over because nothing's changing. That's the quarterback, dudes and dudettes. Just get over it at this point. He's the quarterback. Get over it. You can keep bringing up all the stuff off the field. That's not going to change my view as far as who he is as a quarterback and what the team did to get him there. It is what it is at this point, Kev. But to me, while everyone's ripping the Browns for that, I actually think it was a beyond smart move. You got your quarterback and you screwed over everybody else in the process. I have no problem with it.
Do you believe the Cleveland Browns did that on purpose? Like they actively said, all right, we're going to sign Deshaun Watson to this guaranteed contract and it's going to mess all those guys up? Or is it just circumstances that it just so happens that all this other stuff happened? I personally believe that the Cleveland Browns were that desperate that they upped the ante because that's what was reported, that he was headed to the Falcons. And then they came with a fully guaranteed contract, which obviously changed Deshaun Watson's mind to go to Cleveland. So I think everything after that is really just a fallout of the situation. I don't think they intentionally said, like, watch this, we're going to give him this guaranteed contract. And then that's going to happen with Joe Burrow. And then that's what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson, like they're behind the curtain, like watch him dance puppets. I don't think that's what the Cleveland Browns intended to do. I think they was just simply trying to get their man.
I think for one, if you have a list of reasons as to why they did it, I don't think that was at the top. Like, we don't want to pay him this much money, but man, this would really screw over the Bengals and Ravens. They did it because they were desperate for a quarterback. Yes. But I do believe that when they are sitting down trying to make these decisions to do this, that they knew they were going to shake up the entire, for one, I do think they were talking about it because I don't think it was maybe just honed in on two teams. They knew that they were going to upset the whole landscape. I think they knew the second this came out, it was going to rock the entire landscape of the quarterbacks because of the fully guaranteed money. It was the very first fully guaranteed contract. So I know what you're saying, but at the same time, I think that they were ready for the repercussions of the pushback that they were going to get with this beyond just the moral outrage that people, displayed whenever that was done. I do believe that there was a part of that did say, hey, I think that wasn't the motive to do this, but I do believe that this was part of the discussion of, man, at the end of the day, we can afford to do this. We don't have to sell the naming. I mean, they named their stadium, all that stuff, but they don't have to they don't have to make all these drastic changes to save up to pay their players, which is wild to me. If you're an owner and you have to do these things decades into owning a team to afford your team, then you shouldn't own a team. But whatever, they're gonna have the money, they're gonna pay him. It's all that matters. Whatever. But it's like, I don't know. The Browns is the Browns. We got to rip the Browns. We got to rip them we rip them if they don't have a quarterback. They do everything they need to go get their quarterback. And then we say, oh, well, they're just desperate. Yes, that's exactly. That's why half y'all ugly friends that finally find a good looking girl, who's crazy, by the way, they end up marrying her anyways, because, hey, who else am I going to get? Yes, that's the Cleveland Browns. That's the Cleveland Browns. Who cares? And maybe you're the ugly friend. I don't know. I have no idea. But the bottom line is, yes, the Browns, I'm not giving them, and by the way, to be fair here, Kev, they're not masterminds. Let's be clear. It is the Browns. They're not masterminds, but Andrew Berry is pretty damn close. I love Andrew Berry as far as what he could do with the cap, what he could do with the roster. I don't like what he does in the draft, though. I think that's his weakness. Now,
That's why he gave away all the picks, so he won't have to do it.
Yes. So I didn't mean to make this all about the Browns, but it was just in response to Ryan, and Ryan's a good dude. I know he's a big Bengals fan and all that, but yes, Deshaun did throw a wrench in all of this. And I believe, and let me ask you, if Deshaun Watson's contract, if Deshaun never goes to the Browns, is the Ravens deal and Lamar done right now?
Probably.
I think so too.
Probably.
Because the holdup is the $100 million in guaranteed money.
Right.
The guaranteed part really was not as much of a talking point as what it is right now until this Deshaun thing happened. So at the end of the day, regardless of whether the Browns meant to or not, it is playing a role in that. So it is having a trickle-down effect. I don't think it's a surprise that the Browns get Deshaun Watson and now all of a sudden it's Paycor Stadium over in Cincinnati. It's because, hey, they were buckling up. And like, man, and to be fair, the Bengals didn't just have a quarterback to pay for. They have a lot of other guys that they have to pay for as well. So bottom line is, at the end of the day, and the other thing too about this, Deshaun was going to get paid. If you thought he was going to go to the Falcons and sign a $35 million deal. That wasn't going to happen either. His stock was high, and every team that needed by the way, and that's the other thing. Every team that needs a quarterback is desperate.
Right.
Every team that needs a quarterback is desperate. You could say the Browns, they were desperate, and that's why they did it. But do you think they were any more or less desperate than the Falcons, who, by the way, the difference between getting Deshaun and not getting Deshaun is Desmond Ridder? Yeah, they were pretty desperate too. They would have probably made some weird decisions as well, or at least been pretty close. So we'll see what ends up happening. But you do believe Lamar and the Ravens have this taken care of if Deshaun's not in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, just it's as simple as like, okay, so we're officially in that realm of fully guaranteed contracts. I've accomplished more than him, so I'm going to need that. And in this world that we live in, money rules the day. Not only does money rule the day, it's a sense of, hey, man, I'm worth X, Y, and Z. So when you are a player in the NFL, you want to capitalize on every single dollar that you can get. And once that was introduced, you best believe that's what he was going to go after. Whoever the next guy up is going to go after that as well. Not like guys that are like on their second contract, they're still trying to hang on, but like a guy that's getting his first contract, best believe he was going to try to go for it for sure.
So we had, and that brings us to this point of the conversation about the contract with Joe Burrow. Because the Ravens, it's all a mess right now. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, and by the way, Ryan says, where'd it go? Ryan says, by the way, I wish you would have asked Keyshawn if he thought there was another team in the league that would have done that. Cleveland had, Ryan, with all due respect, why in the hell would I ask Keyshawn about something that happened a year ago? We're talking about the Ravens and their situation with Lamar Jackson right now. We're talking about the Bengals and their, upcoming contract negotiations right now. Why would I ask him, hey, remember that time that Cleveland signed Deshaun Watson? What'd you think? Like something like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live. Like, I don't know what you guys want me to do with that. Saltiness of blaming the Browns. I don't get that. But anyways, so we had Jason Fitz on earlier in the week, Kevin. He had a lot of interesting things to say because we've had for months now, we've had Bengals fans tell us that they believe Joe Burrow is going to give the team a nice little hometown discount. And, what's interesting about all this is, again, I understand why they said that, but I always wonder, too, were there Ravens fans out there that actually thought Lamar's going to give them a hometown discount? Like, that's what I'm really curious about. But interesting comments from ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz about this. Here's Jason Fitz when we talked initially about this idea of not just Joe Burrow, but any quarterback giving their team a hometown discount.
I've had our stats and info group lean into this all over the place. There is no proof that you actually need a quarterback on a deal of a contract to win a Super Bowl. None. If you want to be sustainably successful, your team needs to go out and draft well. Your team needs to do a smart job in free agency.
So with that being said, he said there's no proof of that. Now, I disagreed with him at first because I'm like, well, the way I view it is I look at teams with quarterbacks on rookie deals. The reason they're able to get to this deep in the playoffs consistently is because they have their money allocated everywhere else and not, a good chunk or the highest percent into one particular player, which is usually the quarterback once that happens. You look at the two teams that are in the Super Bowl or at least three of the four teams that were in the AFC NFC championship game. Three of them all had either quarterbacks on rookie deals or quarterbacks that did not absorb all of the cap hit. Patrick Mahomes, a little bit different story right now. And of course, but people say, well, that didn't impact them at all. I mean, they did have to lose Tyreek Hill. I mean, they did have to lose Tyreek Hill to make this work. Now, luckily they're back, but to Jason Fitz's point, Kev, they've drafted well. They've hit on draft picks. They've signed, Juju Smith-Schuster. That's not a blockbuster offseason free agent signing, but those moves worked.
Right.
They go and get Kadarius Toney. It's not a big time move, but those moves worked. You have to have good front office decisions when we're dealing with this. He would go on to weigh in more on this.
I'm just saying from a monetary standpoint, Joe Burrow's agents should be smart enough to have the same information I have. And if they are, they're going to walk in and say, sorry, guys, there's no proof that he needs to take a team-friendly deal in order for this team to remain competitive. In fact, the third highest paid quarterback in the NFL next year by cap number, second highest or third highest next year, is going to be Patrick Mahomes. And nobody's going to count out the Chiefs. So if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm looking around saying, hey, I have a legacy. I'm winning in Cincinnati. That's impossible. So I don't need to turn around and do anything different for my legacy. All I need to do right now is get paid.
All he needs to do is get paid. So I like what he said there, too. If you're Joe Burrow, I'm hearing way too much about what Joe Burrow needs to do. And this is a good point, too. And at a certain point, and by the way, I might be a hypocrite here because I always rip quarterbacks who get all the money in the world and then their team can't afford to put a winner around them. The difference is when Cleveland gets to that point, I'm sure I'll change my tune. For right now, though, I'm happy that the front office has a plan to be able to keep moving, restructuring this deal to keep guys. I mean, this is a team that they have a guy that's making the most money of all quarterbacks in the NFL. They have Amari Cooper. They're going after DeAndre Hopkins. They already have Nick Chubb, one of the best offensive lines in football. They have a ton of money invested on the defense. They have $40 million in cap space. They're going to keep spending. I love what the front office does with Cleveland. We'll see if they can get anything out of it over the next year or two. But what I keep hearing, Kev, is, and it's not just Joe Burrow, it's Lamar and others. Well, like for instance, what does Joe Burrow need to do to keep this team intact? Joe Burrow needs to do a damn thing to keep this team intact. Why is it Joe Burrow's responsibility to get Jamar Chase paid? Here's Jamar Chase yesterday on the NFL Network, Kev, and talking about Joe Burrow's money. Here's Jamar Chase on NFL Network yesterday when he was asked about the long-term plans for Cincinnati and whether or not he sees himself in Cincinnati long-term.
At the end of the day, I don't think Joe's really too worried about how much money he's going to make because he's already making a tremendous amount. But it'll always work. It'll work out for itself. It'll always work out. I think Joe knows what he wants and how he wants to set up his contract to keep some of his weapons around him. And I think that's the biggest part for him.
So a couple things there. For one, Jamar Chase, who the hell are you to say, I think Joe Burrow makes enough money? That's not for you to decide, buddy. And even if Joe Burrow does go get the bag and takes everything that he has, that should go to him, that doesn't make him a bad person either. This idea that if Joe Burrow, surpasses Deshaun Watson in that fully guaranteed department, Kevin, now he's the highest, grossing quarterback in the NFL. That doesn't make him a bad person. That's the thing. But what this is doing is I believe in Tee Higgins talking today about, I want to stay in Cincinnati long-term. I have no problem with that. I don't really have a problem with what Jamar said. I'm pointing at the oddness of this because while they feel like they're being supportive, they're actually putting Joe Burrow in a tough spot because what they are doing is now look at all the goofy fans who are falling for this, Kev. Oh, Joe Burrow, he's going to work for peanuts, man. He's just going to sign some autographs and oh my gosh, my goodness. No. So what happens if he takes that fully guaranteed contract, Kev, because he deserves it, because that's what he should get? Is now he a bad guy? Is now Jamar Chase setting him up to look like a bad? I don't think that's what's happening, that he's setting him up. But I don't think they realize that they're setting him up to look like a bad guy if he takes what's coming to him. Kev, everyone we just talked to Keyshawn Johnson. We just talked to Jason Fitz. Every time we have a guest on, Jay Will last week, they all just smirk at the idea that Joe Burrow is going to take less money to put weapons around him. It is not Joe Burrow's job to keep weapons around him. That is the silliest thing ever. And if Joe Burrow does that, then that means he doesn't trust his front office, Kev, because if he does that, that means he doesn't trust whatever makeshift GM they have to do enough to keep weapons around him once they pay him. Because if he did, he would say, I'm going to get my money and I have enough confidence in my front office to put weapons around me. If that's the case, then he doesn't trust them. It's a very weird situation. Your thoughts when you heard Jamar Chase's comments?
Oh, goodness.
Man. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Right over here. Good. That's what I thought.
You
That's
got
what
water?
I thought. That's what I thought. I thought, what are you doing talking about somebody else's money?
Yeah.
Dude, like, I get it. He's trying to tell the fans what they want to hear, but sometimes you just got to shut up. Sometimes you just go, hey, man, Joe's going to take care of his business, and I'm going to take care of mine, and our goal is to win a Super Bowl together. That's all true. That's not telling somebody a falsehood. You're saying, hey, Joe's going to do what he got to do. I'm going to do what I have to do, but our main goal is to remain with the Cincinnati Bengals and to bring a Super Bowl to Cincinnati. That's what you say, because that's the truth. You do want to remain the Cincinnati Bengal. You do want to remain playing with Joe Burrow. You do want to win a Super Bowl, but you still have to handle your business. So that's what I would prefer him say. Other guys that have talked about other people's money, Donovan McNabb talked about T.O.'s money. See how the locker room turned on him? Baker Mayfield talked about Duke Johnson's money. See how that worked out for him?
And that was just, in no offense to Duke Johnson, but that was just Duke Johnson. I mean, that's just,
Don't talk about other people's money. If you're talking about other people's money, it has to be in the same light that the Cincinnati Bengals players were talking about Jesse Bates and his money. Pay him. Pay him. Pay my dude. We want him on the team. Pay him. That's how you talk about other people's money. You don't talk about other people's money as in them taking a discount or them not getting all of their money. That type of stuff is locker room stuff. That stuff that keeps unity inside the locker room when everybody is on the same page about people getting paid. Because if you saying like, oh, he should take less money so I can get more, then what makes you more important than me? Then what makes you more important than the left tackle or the right tackle? Like, hey, everybody try to get as much as you possibly can, and we run it back and we try to win a Super Bowl. Way off base for Jamar Chase, talking about somebody else's money, talking about how much he already makes and how much more he's going to make off the field. Like they used to always irk me when they would talk about, especially like with LeBron and when he used to take like a little discount in Miami, whatever, like, well, he'll make it up off the court. What? No, you don't make it up off the court. Whatever you're going to make off the court, you're going to make that regardless because it's off the court. So that's why I had no problem when Kobe Bryant was over the hill and done, and he maxed out his contract and got every dollar he could from the Los Angeles Lakers. So if LeBron James decides to sign another contract with the Los Angeles Lakers and it's crazy numbers, no problem with it. No, dude, that's not their job. And I felt like this for a very long time. It's not my job to build the team. My job is to go out there and catch the ball, throw ball, put ball in basket, put hockey puck into the goal, whatever sport you play, hit home runs. And if I do that to the maximum of my potential and I'm one of the best players, I need to be compensated as such. And I don't want to hear anything about like, oh, man, take a hometown discount. Everybody out there is not built like Tom Brady. Everybody out there is not built like Tim Duncan. Those guys, I salute them. More power to you. But I ain't built like that. I'm going to need all my coins.
And keep in mind, we talk about Tom Brady as if he was drafted as Tom Brady. Like, he wasn't drafted as Tom Brady. Even after he won that first Super Bowl, Kev, let's be clear, even then, that was a great storyline, but it wasn't like Tom Brady was Tom Brady. Like Nick Foles, for instance. Nick Foles was a great storyline. But if Nick Foles would have continued winning Super Bowls or whatever, his what do you want to call it? It would have grown. The aura of him would have grown. Tom Brady, after beating the Rams in that very first Super Bowl, it wasn't like he was Tom Brady.
Right.
So when we talk about the money that Tom Brady got paid after that Super Bowl, he was viewed as a very, very good game managing quarterback. His stats never popped off the page. That's why people talk about Tom Brady all the time. He was never the best quarterback in the NFL. He was just the winningest, quarterback in the NFL. And that was very, very accurate. Now, as he got, into the league further, that's when his numbers exploded and the offense exploded and he became better. But so this idea that, oh, Tom Brady did it right off the bat. Tom Brady, it was kind of easier for him to do it right off the bat because his skill wasn't at the level early on to say, I want paid what Peyton's getting paid. Hell, Dante Culpepper and all those guys back during that time, they were getting paid some serious bucks because Donovan being that, they were all really, really good quarterbacks. So that's where I'm at with it. It's different with Joe Burrow because he's a star right off the bat. And that's kind of where we're at with that. But the thing with Jamar Chase, you know what I haven't heard from Jamar Chase or Tee Higgins or anyone else? It's one thing to say Joe Burrow has a plan, or I think Joe Burrow is going to have a plan with his money to keep weapons around him. What's your plan, Jamar? Instead of wasting everyone's time talking about what you think Joe Burrow needs to do to keep you and everyone around. So you're not going to request $30 million a year. You're not going to say, well, if Tyreek Hill is getting $30 million a year, I want $30 million. Are you going to shave a couple mil off of yours since you're over here telling Joe Burrow what he needs to do to keep you around? Because last time I checked, I think as a wide receiver, you're more dependent on the quarterback than the quarterback's dependent on you. And Patrick Mahomes is proof of that. So I want to start hearing what Jamar Chase plans on doing to make, whatever. All he had to say was, you know what? We all know what we have here is special. And it's going to take a lot to keep us around, and we're all willing to do what we need to try to keep this train rolling, and boom, off you go. Now, to be fair to the Bengals in Jamar Chase, I don't think there was any tone in his voice that had anything vindictive. I don't think he was there to put the pressure on Joe Burrow. I think this was what he said he probably shouldn't have said, but I don't think there was any intent behind it to come across that way. So I got to be fair. If I'm going to be this aggressive on the mic, I do want to be fair and say, I don't think he did this maliciously, Cav. I don't think that, but I also don't think we're spinning it. You said it. Keyshawn Johnson said today when he came on with it, don't talk about other people's money. It's that simple. And to Jason Fitz's point, it's not Joe Burrow's job to keep those dudes around. It is Joe Burrow's job to do what he has done to this point that's put him in position to go get that money. It's Duke Tobin or whatever imaginary GM that they have to get these deals done. They've drafted well. They've gotten great players in free agency, but as I've said, it's easy to draft well when you have the higher draft picks consistently for a couple years, which they've hit on, which built this team. It's easy to go get free agents when all your 3 top playmakers you got high in the draft because you won 2 in 4 games. So now you can go spend whatever you want, go get any player you want. Well, now we got to find out about this Bengals portion of this run. Can they sustain it? Can they keep it? Can they move on from guys, bring guys in, replace them, and not miss a beat and keep going like the Chiefs are doing? That's where we're at. But to be fair to Jamar, Kev, because I did see Dustin Taylor, I don't think he meant it in the negative way it's being portrayed. What do you say to that?
What is he talking about then? Like there's a million different ways.
I think you're harder on this than I am.
Yes, dude, stop talking about people's money, dude.
Okay.
That is not cool. And like I said before, unless you are rooting for people, especially your teammates, to get paid, don't talk about people's money. It's plain and simple. That is an old rule. Like, this is not anything new. And if anybody's spinning it, he's smart enough because he's not a rookie. I mean, he's been in this league for 2 years now. He's seen everything that's going on with Jesse Bates. He's seen free agents come and go already. I mean, if Joe Burrow's taking a discount, does that mean he's taking a discount? Does Tee Higgins take a discount? Everybody's just going to take a discount? If that's something they've collectively agreed upon, then more power to them. I salute them. I was like, wow, it's going to be a whole totally changing of the guard, because let's just say this is fairy tale land. Joe Burrow, he says, I only need $30 million a year. And then Tee Higgins was like, well, shoot. Well, if you only going to take 30, I'm only going to take 18. And then Tee Higgins, well, if you only going to take 18, I'll only take 16. We're all doomed. We're all doomed. If those 3 dudes pull a Tim Duncan, basically, we're doomed. We're never winning. Because if those elite players like that decide to basically play for half of what they're worth, then it's over for everybody, because they'll stock up on players left and right.
Yeah, my favorite part about the Keyshawn joke, too, I don't know if you guys caught that, but by the way, 45 mil, that's not what, I mean, Joe Burrow's going to be, that's the 45 mil is the discount. If he goes for 45 mil, which is what Mahomes is getting paid, I don't think, Fitz said yesterday too, actually, this is what Fitz had to say about the contract with Burrow as far as, where it goes within the division, as far as keeping it in pace, with what Deshaun Watson's getting paid. I think this part was interesting as well.
Like, if I'm Joe Burrow, the number starts where Deshaun Watson is, and it goes up from there. And there is no way I'm signing for $1 less, fully guaranteed, than a guy in my own division is getting, that I'm better than right now. So that's just simple pride in what I do. And by the way, the economics don't prove that you can't do that and still win. So I'm sorry, Bengals fans. Like, everybody wants their quarterback to take a discount because we feel like that's the quarterback thing to do.
Well, interesting. So I say this because it's like the joke from Keyshawn earlier was, oh, yeah, because he caught me by surprise. I remember me and you looking at each other. They think he's going to take a discount. Oh, he's going to take a discount. He's going to take 42 instead of 45. There's your discount. Like, yeah, that's a discount. A couple million less. But what are you going to do with that extra $3 million? Add it to the $27 million that what's his name's going to want. Jamar Chase is going to want to be that third. Like I said, all I need Jamar to say is, hey, I think we're all, I'm willing to, be a little friendly with my deal if it means keeping some of these other guys in this locker room so we can keep achieving our goal, yada, yada. But no, he was saying what Joe Burrow needs to do to keep guys.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I'm with you on that. So yeah, Doug Toby, Kev, he says, no worries. Burrow's going to get top 3 money. They're going to structure it to keep key players. It's not a hometown discount. Still getting top 3 money for a quarterback. Bengals front office, a lot smarter than some sports broadcasters or even us. Doug Toby, that's what the Browns did. And you said how stupid they are. The Browns signed Deshaun Watson. They gave it to him as a signing bonus. He had a $1 million salary last year, and y'all chalked it up to something else. But yes, all these teams are doing this. That's what the Bengals are going to do up front, but eventually you're kicking the can down the road. That's why some teams are getting bigger cap hits down the road because of the friendly stuff they're doing up front. The Chiefs will eat it here soon. The Browns are going to eat it here very, very soon as well, which is why their window is very, very small. But yeah, I agree. Joe Burrow signing this contract doesn't mean it's all doomed, but with the way the contracts work up front, you can't sign all 3 of those to max deals and just keep restructuring it and kicking it down the road.
Right.
Anyways, okay. I'm over that, but I did want to get it. Hearing Jamar Chase on that show yesterday as we went off the air, I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But good stuff from Jason Fitz earlier in the week on this Joe Burrow thing as well. Yes, it's not Joe Burrow's job to keep this roster intact. Joe Burrow's talent is why he's going to get paid, and Joe Burrow's talent is why those guys should be taking discounts to play with him. That's just, we'll see what happens, but nonetheless. All right. Kev, the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, they did nothing. And Cavs fans seem to be upset. And I'm here to tell you, them doing nothing, they didn't have to do anything. They did all their work in the offseason. We'll talk about that when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Houday Nation, Betfred has come all the way from England to the great state of Ohio with over 50 years of sports betting experience. No emperors, no movie stars, just a sportsbook you can trust. The Betfred Sportsbook app will be available on January 1st, 2023. Until then, download the Bengals app or go to betfredsports.com and have a chance to win Bengals tickets and exclusive merchandise. Official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Just happy to be here. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Dell Technologies President's Day sale starts now with savings on select sleek XPS PCs and more, powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Call 877-ASK-DELL.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The forecast, cloudy skies, windy conditions, and 37 tonight. It's mostly cloudy, 42 for the day Friday. Sunshine and 41 Saturday. I'm Rick Schremp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Dell Technologies President's Day business event starts now with deals to power America's doers and dreamers. Save on select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for President's Day deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
This is Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
Black history is American history. In this Black History Month, we are celebrating the many Black Americans who have made our country so great. But more than that, we must come together to reflect on the Black experience in our country, the good and the bad, because our students deserve an honest education that allows them to reckon with the past to make the future better for all of us.
Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Who are you? I'm you, from the future. What do you want? I want to tell you about Dave. Dave has your future money. Spend it on whatever you need. With extra cash from Dave, you can get up to $500 instantly with no interest and no credit check. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
Hi, Greg McAfee here from McAfee Heating and Air. Inflation is hurting families. Gas and food prices continue to soar, but skilled trade jobs are paying at an all-time high rate. Why keep working for less? If you are experienced in HVAC, have a great attitude, love serving people, and enjoy working hard, apply today at mcair.com. That's mcair.com.
It's Valentine's Day. Let your sweetheart know how much you love them by surprising them with Esther Price candies. It's the sweetest way to say be mine with their heart boxes of all varieties and sizes. Customize with your favorite chocolates or the traditional gold box of your sweetheart's favorites. Their delicious chocolate-covered strawberries are back for a limited time starting Friday through Valentine's Day at all locations. So stop in and get a box. If you are not able to get out and want to send your Valentine your love, shop online at EstherPrice.com.
My favorite sports talk shows are the ones that everyone agrees and that there's never any disagreement. But you know what? That's just not realistic. You know what is realistic, though, Kev?
Do tell.
When you think about a topic that I think everyone can agree on is when you go outside, it's awesome out for February. It's amazing out.
58 degrees here in Kettering, Ohio.
Now, the wind stinks a little. That stinks a little. But I am completely content with the fact that we have the window open and we're like, man, it feels awesome in here. The problem is the temperature. It keeps confusing everybody's houses and your work buildings because it's everything is wired and set up for, it to be 30 or colder outside. So then when it does this, it's like your building doesn't know how to react. And well, I don't think the heat should be on, but we're going to kick it on anyways. It's some random stuff, but nonetheless. But happy Thursday, everybody. Kennard and Kev with you live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. I hope everybody's had a great day. Kev, you know what today is?
National Pizza Day.
National Pizza Day. And, I'm always like you to do these local shows, and you don't want to just give out all this free advertisement for all the great pizza places we have in the area, but I think we can make an exception for today.
Absolutely.
National Pizza Day. I am curious. National Pizza Day. Your favorite pizza spot in town is what?
I'm going to go a chain restaurant. I'm not going to go a chain. Flying Pizza.
Is that New York style one?
Yes.
Is that over there by Diamonds? Or no, over there by...
Well, they have one over there too, but the location that I'm most known for going to was the one on Colonel Glenn, right across the street from Wright State.
They have Diamonds by Wright State. Oh, you meant the Flying Pizza. Oh, okay. So, our guy TJ,
yes,
went there with him quite a few times. He's from New York, and he said, "Look, it's not New York pizza, but it's as close as you're gonna get. It'll do. It's very good, though. I agree with you on that." So, up until I became a Costco member recently.
Okay.
This is very out there, but I do believe I would take Costco pizza. Not the frozen ones you take home. Like, go up there. By the way, that is such a badass thing. You go to Costco and you go up there and it's like $1.25 for a pizza that's a slice that's about as big as your face. And then for $1, you get a drink. And for lunch, I mean, I look the way I do because of that $2.25 lunch deal over at the old Costco. But Costco pizza is pretty damn good.
Never had it.
But Kramer's and Costco are my two favorite pizzas here in town. Costco is such a random one. I get that, but it is what it is. I'm having that tonight. Actually, I have a bunch of friends over, going to get a bunch of Costco pizzas. Don't care. Cannot wait. But Kramer's, I'm telling you that anytime I go to a UD game or over the summer doing the TBT stuff or just, randomly going to get some 40s too. Getting the 40s are pretty nice as well. But the pizzas, that's where I'm all about Kramer's.
Number 2 for me would be Dewey's. Dewey's down on Brown Street. Love that. Love their pizza as well.
Let's see. Mark Smith, he goes, the heck with pizza. I'm at Black Rock with the whiskey. Mark, are you a big whiskey guy, huh? Did you go check out the bourbon tasting at Black Rock last night? I hope you did, nonetheless. But every time we bring up Black Rock, Mark jumps all over that stuff. Phil says Old Scratch Pizza is the best pie in Dayton. I see a pie. People call it pie.
Pizza pie.
Old Scratch. Phil says that. Ryan Holzapple, he says Old Scratch Pizza as well. Let's see. Jeremy Schuster, he chimes in the Pizza Bandit at the Yellow Cab in the Oregon District. I think I've had that. Is that like very brightly painted building? I know that sounds really stupid because that could be any building over in the Oregon District, but never mind. No, I'm thinking of Yellow Springs. That's not what I'm talking about. So I have not been at the Pizza Bandit. I'm thinking of Yellow Springs. There was a place over in Yellow Springs that we've got a few times. Every time you go in there, they say it's about an hour wait for pizza. I'm like, geez, this place is huge, but nonetheless, pizza's really good. It's worth the wait. And I can't think of the name of it. I feel bad that I even brought it up. I can't even give them the proper shout out. But nonetheless, they are very good. But Jeremy, I'll have to try. I have not tried the Pizza Bandit at the Yellow Cab in the Oregon District. I've not tried that one. Hanks. So Doug Toby says Hanks is pretty good. It's over on Patterson. Doug, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Hanks just do like a little renovation? Like they rebranded? Like it's really cool. I see their stuff on Facebook. Hanks is pretty cool, but is their pizza pretty good? Sounds like. By the way, you can never go wrong. Just a bar pizza, man.
Yes.
Bar pizza is the best. Bowling alley pizza. Damn it, I'm hungry.
How did bowling
go? I had
go?
Sushi for lunch today.
How did bowling go?
The other night, not as bad as last week, but nothing worth bragging about. My last game was a 180. Felt good about that, but nonetheless.
You didn't bring home the loser trophy.
I did not bring home the loser trophy.
Then it's a win. Then it's a win.
I don't really like bringing it. I've never had trophies. I've never spoiled myself growing up, so I don't need trophies. So I'm glad that I never take home the winning trophy. I just don't want to bring home the loser trophy. So there's that. Bowling alley pizza is really good. What you got?
Go-to topping on pizza.
Pepperoni, banana pepper.
Oh, you want those.
The wife, she loves banana peppers, but she wants it like on the side. She likes cold banana peppers on her pizza, not warm. That's interesting. Which I could relate. I don't like. I love pickles. I eat. She gets so mad. By the way, I drink pickle juice. If I ever get divorced, I just need y'all to know I wasn't unfaithful. I wanted anything. That means it was one too many times where I drank all the pickle juice out of the jar before we were done with the pickles. That's like
You got a straw drinking it?
Now you know my personality. You know how annoying I could be. You know how I could be a little over the top, right? She lives with me. It's the pickles that she draws the line. It's amazing to me. It's amazing.
My go-to topping, pepperoni and Italian sausage. It has to be Italian sausage.
Mushrooms. I used to hate mushrooms. I don't mind mushrooms now. But
I don't mind mushrooms now. As a kid, my mom, she used to get, we used to go to, where did we used to go? We used to go to Pizza Hut. Yeah, Pizza Hut, the book month club or whatever. And she would get the Supreme. So she would get onions, she would get
can't do
olives, all that stuff on there, and it would just be so nasty. Just pick them off. Like, no, the juices are on there. So by the time I was finally old enough to have my own pizza, like a medium, she would let me get a medium pepperoni and Italian sausage. She would eat her own pizza, and I would have my own pizza as well. Yeah.
National Pizza Day. And right now, if you're just tuning in, Kennard and Kev with you here on a Thursday. Super Bowl coming up, NBA Trade Deadline. We just had Keyshawn on, but we're talking pizza. It's National Pizza Day. It's a holiday. We should be off right now because of this. I agree. But with that being said, I'm curious from around here. Again, the bosses are probably like, oh, gosh, look at all the free exposure. Look, it's a local show. We love our local businesses around here, and we love our local pizza joints. I'm Team Kramer's. Costco, I can't give too much of a shout out to. That's a national. You can get Costco at there's only one Kramer's. I love Kramer's. I'm all about that pizza right there. Ha Ha's Pizza. That's what it is. Brian, thank you. Ha Ha Pizza over in Yellow Springs. I like Ha. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, Yellow Springs is very, very unique. Very different. I like Ha Ha's.
Can't believe we went this far without talking about Marion's.
So it is interesting. I've had Marion's since I've moved here. And by the way, we get that all the time. I mean, we mix it up with the different pizzas we get. The wife loves Marion's. That's what we get all the time whenever she gets to order it. Pizza you don't like. I don't like Papa John's. Can't do Papa John's. Actually, I like Papa John's. It makes me sick. I can't eat Papa John's because of that.
I liked Papa John's, but I ate so much Papa John's in college. It's just I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, come on. It's college. I probably ate Papa John's 3 times a week in college. That's why as an adult, I don't eat Pizza Hut because I had it so much as a kid. I just have no desire to have Pizza Hut ever again in life. Every once in a while, I'll do some Papa John's, but as a go-to, if we're ordering pizza, it's probably Donato's.
Giovanni's in Fairborn. Now, Chris,
yes,
there's Giovanni's, that's not the chain, right? That's not the big one from Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. What's the one from No. What's the one from Chicago? I don't think that. So Giovanni's is the local one, right?
Okay.
There's the chain from Chicago that's like that big deep dish, really cheesy pizza. That's good, but that's an easier just because those are chains. I like the local joints. I think that's where but that is good too. I've had that. But Giovanni's, I think, is an Italian restaurant over in Fairborn. That's over there by where all the Halloween stores and stuff are. If I'm not mistaken, hungry. I could be wrong. Yes. Damon Hahn, Giordano's. So yeah, Giordano's is good. Yes. That's national chain though. That's still very good. But I'm with you, Chris. I like Giovanni's. I've gone to Giovanni when I lived in Fairborn. I lived in a very sketch part of Fairborn, but the best part was making my way over till Giovanni's.
All I know is the Super Bowl is on Sunday, and we're talking about pizza places right now. I'm just saying, if any pizza place want to give us a call at the studio and talk to me and Kennard offline about our Super Bowl parties, we'll gladly accept that phone call.
So Dustin Taylor says Karen's Pizzeria in Christiansburg. Chain restaurant, Casano's. That's Dayton's local. Christiansburg. Where's Christiansburg?
I have no idea.
Did you mean Miamisburg, Dustin? I'm just curious. I've never heard of Christiansburg, but Denver Lewis says I'm not eating anything with Ha Ha in it. Kramer's all the way. I'm Team Kramer's, baby. I'm all about the Kramer. We're getting Costco pizza tonight, but I'm thinking about going to Kramer's instead.
Know what I want? Now we talking pizza, but like a twist on pizza, a calzone.
Calzones are freaking good too, man. Where's I'm freaking hungry now. This is a bad idea. Jesse Terry says Papa John's got me addicted to their garlic. he said garlic nutter. He meant butter, but yeah, you got too excited when you typed that, Jesse. You need, or your spell check just needs to get figured out. But yes, he said garlic butter. Papa John's has him addicted to garlic butter. So there's that. Clarence, hope you're doing well. He says Oregon Express, Mama DeSalvo's, and Hoagies. Mama DeSalvo. So that's a great place. Clarence, good for you for going to Mama DeSalvo's and wasting a trip on pizza. And I'm sure their pizza is great, but good. So they have good pizza. I think of Mama DeSalvo's. I don't think of pizza right away.
I've never had pizza from there. I've only had like Italian dishes, like the pastas and things like that nature. Like I've never had pizza from there. I never would think to get pizza from there because every time we go is some type of pasta dish.
Clarence, I'll have to try the pizza one time. Good looking. He said Oregon Express as well. No, he says Christiansburg is in Miami County. Why don't we know where Christiansburg is? Is there a football team there?
Yeah, Miami County. I've never heard of it, but
anyone
got good pizza though.
Well, we just lost a whole little portion of. Hey, anyone from Christiansburg? We promise you, I'm not being rude. I honestly, I've only lived here for 6-7 years. I've never heard of Christiansburg. So my bad on that. Dustin, you've educated us today. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Sports, what's going on in old Christian? Apparently they have some good pizza. So there's that nonetheless. But all right, continue to go down. Christie's Pizza. You heard of that over in Vandalia, Kev?
Mm-mm.
Interesting. We'll do a couple more. Classic Pizza in Huber Heights.
Never heard of it. Manhattan's Pizza in Huber Heights is good.
He said it's between Miami East and Graham school districts. Oh, so it's a little out there a little bit. Okay. Okay. So he said wrestling country. Wrestling country. There's that. What pizza you getting for dinner tonight?
I'm gonna order a calzone, but I just don't know from where. I'm looking on Old Scratch's website. They might be seeing me.
So I'm laughing though, because like Papa John's, they just do the most random things of pizza, and then they create it. They call it something different, and they make it sound like it. I mean, they basically, what are the Papa Dough, or no, not Papa Dough. What's that called? They just take the pizza and fold it in half, and then they've called it something else. And everyone's like, you got to try it. I'm like, I did like 10 years ago when I folded my pizza in half. Still really good though. See, here's the problem too. If I have a sweet tooth, I order Papa John's because that damn brownie. I get that. My wife knows when I have like a killer sweet tooth when we're ordering pizza because I'll say Papa John's because she knows I'm going to order that brownie. So there's that. Man, okay. What time we got? It's we it's a little bit towards dinner, but yeah, I got a bunch of friends coming over tonight. Costco Pizza, that's where it's at. National Pizza Day.
I'm hungry.
I already called it in. I got 4 large pies, as people call it. Where
pizza pie?
I always confuse when people call it pies, but whatever.
It's a New York thing. My aunt, she's from New York. She calls it pie. I will say, New York does have the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Like, it's official.
So we went to New York. It was a work thing. So that was when I went with, for work, we went over to New York. It was for some sports conference or whatever. But when we got there, I mean, because it's just like you think you have a plan, but New York's so damn big, and I was like overwhelmed. I'm like, holy crap, where the heck do I go? There's like so many different like pizza spots and all this stuff. But Bobby Carpenter, when we did First Take, that was back when he was doing First Take, or not First Take, Get Up. So we went, checked out the Get Up studios and stuff, got to sit back and then got pizza afterwards. And it's just the rule I learned and what he said too, the weaker looking the building, the better the pizza.
Yes.
And I think that's the case. So I'm from El Paso, Texas. My family's Hispanic, and I grew up eating like really, really good Mexican food. And that's my theory as well. The nicer the building for the Mexican restaurant, I hate to tell you, but the food's probably not as good.
It's not authentic.
I want the old building that you're wondering if the electricity works and there's cracks along the foundation. And I mean, my good, the windows look like they haven't been cleaned, but you walk in and, oh my gosh, it's the best Mexican food you will ever eat in your life. That's kind of like pizza places over in New York.
And why I got to get back to New York. I got to get back to New York.
Just for the pizza?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. See my aunt too. Oh yeah. Aunt Jay, what's happening?
National Pizza Day. Kennard and Kev right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom design building. Just call 888-74-STEEL or visit mygeneralsteel.com to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL. Or visit mygeneralsteel.com to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now or mygeneralsteel.com.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Football fans, FanDuel has the perfect way for everyone to get in on the Super Bowl 57 action with a no-sweat same-game parlay. That means that everyone gets bonus bets back if your Super Bowl same-game parlay does not hit. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. Same-game parlays let you combine all of your favorite bets for a chance at a bigger payday. So start building your own or just bet a popular same-game parlay already made for you in America's #1 sportsbook. The one I'm working on, both quarterbacks to throw for 250-plus yards each, and Travis Kelce as an anytime touchdown scorer. New to FanDuel, sign up with promo code Kennard when you download the app. Either way, you'll get bonus bets back if your no-sweat same-game parlay does not hit. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Parlay must be 3+ legs long. Minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have an oak tree in your yard? The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices while preventing a fungal disease called oak wilt. They remind those who own and manage oak trees the best time to prune is November to early March. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified tree experts in Ohio. To find an ISA-certified arborist in your area, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Here at Roosters, we're not just a fun casual joint. We're a family. No matter who we are serving, our guests or our community, we strive to better the lives of those around us. Whether it's aiding in the battle against cancer, helping to educate the next generation, or simply putting a smile on someone's face, the Roosters Foundation has helped raise over $1 million annually for local charities. Our community has given us so much. This is the least we can do. Roosters, we're a fun casual joint, but so much more.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because people who have joint pain are getting real lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Hey, it's Keith Byers. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. If you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover the remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for folks like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. Don't put this off any longer. Spring is coming and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now, 937-936-0325. Get a free consultation with local medical professionals. QC Kinetics, that's 937-936-0325.
The Flowerman here with our annual Valentine's Day tradition, a dozen roses for $12.99. That's incredible. A dozen roses, only $12.99. So beautiful. I'm starting to tear up. A dozen roses for Valentine's, only $12.99. Go to flowermanflowers.com. That's flowermanflowers.com.
Are you ready for tax season? Belmont Business Consultants and Tax Services is ready for you. If you want to come in person, it's a safe environment. Or you can just drop off. Belmont Tax also provides a completely virtual, secure client portal. For business or personal, if you want the accurate deductions you deserve, contact Belmont Tax in Dayton and Eaton. Go to BelmontBCTXS.com. BelmontBCTXS.com.
Cordell Transportation is hiring third shift dispatcher/customer service representatives. Excellent pay, great benefits, no experience necessary, and paid training. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com or stop in today at 2942 Boulder Avenue in Dayton. Equal opportunity employer.
At Staples, you can count on every project being print perfect, guaranteed.
I need presentations and brochures printed, and they have to be perfect.
Your bounded presentations, brochures with the finest folds, and more will be done right every time. That's our Print Big promise. Now at Staples, get $10 off your document printing and marketing materials order of $50 or more, plus 20% back via store bonus. Try Staples and see the difference. Ends 2/25. Rewards members only. Bonus must be redeemed in store. See staples.com/stores/printbig for details.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
By now, you should know Audio Etc. has all the same sales and deals on TVs and projectors as everyone else. But did you know we also have some of the world's best hi-fi? Hi, this is Kirby from Audio Etc. And we do have some of the best home theater, high-fidelity gear on the planet. Not only do we have your favorite brands like Clip speakers and SVS subwoofers, but audiophile greats from Bowers & Wilkins, Kef, NAD, Marantz, Cambridge, Mark Levinson, and plenty of vinyl and tube gear. Plus exotics you only see in the magazines. Stop by today and visit Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom and see and audition the best audio and video it has to offer. While you're in, check out our huge selection of pre-owned vintage gear. A great way to afford great gear otherwise out of reach, or revisit old classics. Audio Etc. Sound advice you can trust. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
And we are back. Kennard and Kev with you here live on a Thursday. Keep those pizza suggestions coming in. National Pizza Day. People really got into that. I tell you. How about Matthew Slocum? He's just jumping in. He's a big fan of the flying pizza as well. He says the best pizza around.
Yes, sir.
Jesse Terry said stuffed crust. You a stuffed crust guy?
No.
I'm a, but I do understand why you do. I mean, if you're going to get the breadsticks and stuff, I mean, you get it with the pizza on the outside. I don't know.
I can't talk pizza without talking about the pizza spot that I grew up on in Cleveland, Ohio. Angela Mia's in Cleveland, Ohio. Whenever I go home to visit my mom's, I always go pick us up Angela Mia's pizza. I pick her up a small with all those vegetables on it, and then I get me my medium with my pepperoni and Italian sausage. Angela Mia's, East Cleveland, Ohio.
Little York Tavern has good pizza, Damon Hahn said.
Never been there either.
Little York. I think there's one.
I know where that is.
I always see the sign off 75 going
75
north.
by middle of the lane. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I have not tried that, but I've never heard anything bad about it. So good one. Keep them coming, guys. It's National Pizza Day. We're all trying to figure out. Yeah. We're having pizza tonight for dinner. We just don't know which pizza yet. Right now, my vote's on Costco. I know that sounds crazy. By the way, can anyone back me up on that? Anyone in the comment section? Am I wrong? Am I the weirdo that loves that Costco pizza? Like, I go there for lunch sometimes just to get the slice and the drink. I sit there by myself like a loser, just eating my big ass slice of pizza.
Now, say how big is big?
It's like a fourth.
Okay.
Like it's pretty big.
Okay.
Like if you order two, like it's one thing. Oh, I had a couple slices of pizza. If you have two of those, people could be looking at you kind of weird. That's how big those are. I mean, if you feel fine, I mean, it's good pizza. I'm just saying, but like, I am curious. I'll post pictures tonight. Costco pizza. That's where it's at. Come on, guys. Rip Rap Roadhouse. That's not helping, Doug. I need backup. That Costco pizza is really, really good pizza. Am I alone on an island? apparently. But keep them coming nonetheless. I do want to give a shout out, by the way. So I was at the Wright State game last night, and I realized that was their second to last home game. Where the hell's the season? The season's like almost done.
There's
only a handful of games left for the Flyers as well. Like college basketball, the first four, not too far off in the distance.
That can't be right.
Like they have 2 weeks of the season left after this week. Wright State does. Remember, the Horizon League Championships is always like a week before everyone else's. So there's that. But with that being said, that was a shocker to me. And then I'm following up on some high school stuff on high school basketball last night. The girls tournament's tipping off. The boys, the brackets are out for the postseason for both boys and girls basketball. Unbelievable. Centerville's about to embark on a historic run into this tournament, of course, which we'll get to later on. But want to give a shout out to Laurent Rice. He is now the Wayne Warriors all-time leading scorer, and this dude's a walking bucket. I mean, my gosh, where is he going to school?
He's going to Murray State, I believe.
He's going to Murray State, and this
fighting
kid's
John Morant.
He's had some big-time programs and coaches after him. I love this spot for him, but he is now the Wayne Warriors all-time leading scorer. He passed to become the leading scorer. He passed Travis Trice.
Wow.
So that's a name.
Yeah.
And Trice's dad's actually an assistant on Wright State's coaching staff now, which is pretty cool. But he had a 38-point performance to surpass it now. So 1,556 career points for Laurent Rice over at Wayne. Pass it sometimes, would you? My gosh, that's a joke. That kid's good. I guess so. Back in December, he dropped like 46 points against Miamisburg. He outscored Miamisburg all by himself. They obviously won. But the talent, basketball, why do you think basketball doesn't get as much and we're responsible, I guess, because we're media. I mean, I guess shame on us, but why doesn't basketball move the needle the same way football does? I mean, I guess it's football versus basketball, but I mean, like the talent is just crazy around here. There's so much Saturday talent, college basketball Saturday talent is going to be playing it in years to come, but Laurent Rice is one of those. But that kid, Centerville. So say what you want about football versus basketball, but Centerville, I feel like, does not get the attention that they deserve. Coach Cups and the historic run that they're on, it's right up there with some of the legendary high school teams from years past. Not an individual season this year, but this run as far as with Cups and with the House and some of those kids over the last couple of years. Your godson's on that team too, which is unbelievable. And Reggie, so shout out to Reggie Powers. Can we give him a shout out? I just gave him a shout out. Gave him a shout. I know you're not big on that nepotism.
I'm not. You got to earn it over here. Got to earn it. But no, high school basketball in the area is crazy. I mean, CJ has multiple next level kids on their team. You talked about Laurent. You talked about everybody over there at Centerville. But I mean, just to look at some of the offers that Laurent had, and he chose to go to Murray State, that says a lot about him and a lot about the relationships. Recruiting is really about relationships and where you feel comfortable. Some people are like, oh man, you should go here and play for this coach. You should go here because it's in the state. You go where you feel comfortable and where you feel like you can develop and ultimately reach your goal. And then we all know what the goal is when you play these collegiate sports. So I wish them nothing but the best, but they got a big matchup tomorrow at home, Wayne Centerville. I'll be at that game because I believe that's for the G-Walk.
Yeah. And we're going to be covering the OHSA Boys and Girls State Tournament. I'll be giving you, as many updates throughout the week as possible, but I'm excited about this too. I mean, and it's not just on the boys' side. You think of the talent that's come out on the girls' side, especially over the last couple of years. I mean, look at Bree Hall right now, what she's doing, the number one ranked team. By the way, we're watching some of these like high-powered teams crumble a little bit. Shout out to Tamika Williams-Jeter, by the way, former UConn Husky, but they're things aren't as easy for them as it used to be. And Gino's getting a little crankier in his older age.
Not so happy.
And then my favorite coach right now in all of basketball, and Miss Dawn Staley. I mean, my goodness, and she ain't afraid of him either. But that reminds me, back in the day, I was a huge Pat Summitt fan. Love Pat Summitt. Love Pat Summitt. And she also never backed down from Gino. She had I think he was afraid of her, to be quite honest. And he should be, but she is my all-time favorite basketball coach, Pat Summitt. I mean, that's how much I respected her and loved Pat Summitt. But yes, now you're seeing all these coaches go at Gino. And but I love that little rivalry between UConn because I like that it's just not UConn advertised. That's why I don't really care about women's college basketball, because it was the same damn team every single year. That's not the case right now, but Don Staley is doing a good job over there. But shout out Bree Hall from Wayne as well, by the way. She's doing her thing over there as well.
Big game for South Carolina and LSU on Sunday before you watch the Super Bowl, 2:00. It is South Carolina, number 1 South Carolina versus number 3 LSU. Angel Reese is a monster for LSU. She's averaging a double-double. Like, she had a block the other night. Like, she spiked it off somebody's face. So it's a lot of talent out there in the women's college basketball. I've also talked about this as well. Caitlin Clark, point guard for Iowa. I think she's the best basketball player in college basketball, men, women. Yep. She is a monster. She's 9 triple-doubles on the season. She's the only player to have 40-point games versus ranked opponents in one season. Like,
bad.
Like,
bad.
We talk about, like, oh man, Dame shooting from the logo, Steph shooting from the logo. She does it too. She's cold. Like, she could potentially be the number 1 pick, and she's only a junior.
So another name, Maddie Westbeld, too, from Fairmont. She's over at Notre Dame. Her sister played there as well, but Maddie's having a very good season as well, junior over there for the Fighting Irish. But yeah, so boys, girls basketball doesn't matter. The talent's all over the place. And I think the reason, too, it gets buried is it's the peak of college football season when it tips off, because you're heading into the playoff, the national championship game, and then the NFL season that dominates everything. You're heading into the biggest portion of the season, the playoffs, so that does it. And then that's why I'm like, oh, yeah, the Super Bowl's about to happen. We're done with football. Let's look at basketball. Wait, we're done. Basketball season's done. But we're going to be giving away a couple books and tickets to the state tournament at UD Arena for both boys and girls basketball. We'll have more information of how you can win those as we get a little bit closer. I don't know about you guys, but some of my favorite memories of my childhood growing up was going and tailgating at the boys state tournament growing up. Me and some of my best friends and their parents would all go, and we'd spend the weekend in Columbus. And that was like my favorite thing as a kid growing up. Looked forward to that. Our teams weren't good enough to play there, whatever. But yeah, so I want to make sure we're getting those out to some people coming up. But yeah,
it's at UD Arena again this year, right?
Arena. Yep.
Easy drive.
So I'm so torn on that. People got mad at me. People at UD got mad because of my opinion on that. It's not that you're just against it. Anything UD. No, for me, my memories as a kid growing up at the Shot, which people say it's a horrible place to do it anyways. You got to understand, though. We just watched LeBron set the all-time scoring record the other night. Okay, but you want to talk about the Shot. It's not a very good college basketball arena. I get that. It's not a very good basketball arena on top of that. But the OHSA used to sell that place out. I mean, I remember, like, we would order our tickets. We'd get our book of tickets early because, I mean, if you didn't get tickets. You had to deal with the creepy people standing out in the corner yelling tickets at you the whole time. And you had to hope to God that the tickets are real. So, like, it is wild, though, growing up. My memories of the state tournament there when you had those great Dayton Dunbar teams, right? Even the Diebler team with Upper Sandusky that was going through there, when he set the all-time scoring mark. I mean, just the way that place would fill up. I mean, you had the Mayos. Remember OJ Mayo, that group? They were a draw that filled up that place. So bottom line is that the Shot used to fill up all the way to the top.
Same thing.
All divisions. I mean, it didn't matter.
I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember when they used to have it at St. John Arena. Like, when I was a kid, that's where we would go to watch the state tournaments, and it would be packed wall to wall in there. So yeah, it's always exciting. And I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand like your feeling about it being at Ohio State and obviously memories attached to it. But I do like the fact that they kind of like are going to bounce it around a little bit, because like that used to always be like a thing where if a team from Northeast Ohio or even like Toledo is coming down to Columbus and they're playing a Columbus team, are we going to have to deal with the Columbus crowd? Are we going to deal with that? So I like the fact that they bounced it to UD Arena. I know there's rumors about them taking it up to the Cavs Arena and things like that. So I like the fact, like, all right, we're going to do it here for 5 years. We're going to do it up here for 5 years, because I
hadn't heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of
saw that because I mean, I don't remember a time where the state tournament wasn't in Columbus. So when it came here to UD, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I thought it was always there, but like, that's the word that they're going to, hey, we're going to do a 5-year situation here. We're going to do a 5-year situation here. Just kind of bounce it around a little bit. I think that makes it a little more fair.
So in my point a little bit ago about back then, so the state tournament at the Shot was always a great, it was a huge deal, and always great memories there because it filled up. But I do know that years before it came back to UD Arena, we'd go. The vibe wasn't the same. The energy wasn't the same. For whatever reason, high school basketball just seems to, even though we're buried in talent in this area. I don't know what's changed, but I also know too, you look at like the Mr. Basketballs and stuff, like back in the day, I have to go pull this because I don't have this in front of me, but I do know this, like the talent in Ohio as a whole. I mean, it used to be the LeBron James and the John Dieblers and the William Bufords, and those are the guys that I grew up, kind of going through high school with and watching them win it. The talent level, the guys winning it now, not that they're not good, they're good. You're the best player in the state of Ohio, don't get me wrong, but it does seem like the talent is not as deep as what it used to. I don't know if it's because of the travel teams. I don't know if it's because if there is talent in Ohio, it gets plucked and they go play for you know what I mean? Those select teams, those prep teams or whatever, which of course we support the prep teams. We love watching them, especially for flying to the hoop and stuff. And I'm not bashing Flying to the Hoop, by the way. I love Flying to the Hoop. Eric knows I love him. I love all the work he does. So I'm not bashing that. But sometimes those teams are the product of why basketball is down in a lot of states, because anytime you get teams that could build around some of those guys, they get plucked and they go put them on these super little prep teams, and then you don't get to enjoy it as much. But nonetheless. So UD Arena is a great spot to watch it. The only thing I've said before is sometimes we make it about us. Oh, I want it at the Shot because I grew up with it at the Shot. Oh, oh man, in Cleveland, you like it in Cleveland. But the thing is, I've always said, if you go poll the kids, where you work your ass off to get to you work your butt off. Sorry, we're talking high school sports. My apologies. You work your butt off to get to the state championship, the Final Four. Where do you envision that? And where do you think that you could play and it feel like the biggest stage possible? For me growing up, I think every 100 kids you ask, you would get 100 of 100 saying the Shot, because that's where the Buckeyes play. That's where Ohio State plays. I don't think all the kids around the state of Ohio say, man, we got to play where Dayton plays. It's a beautiful arena. It's an NBA caliber arena, but the Shot's just is not. I mean, like all these places. So I always wonder too, I'm older now, but what would if you polled the kids today, what would they vote on? And I would say it should be about what they want. But I always hear like some of the older guys with the OHS say, oh, we want to go back to St. John's because that takes me back to when it was. It ain't about you. It ain't about me. It ain't about you, Kevin. It's about the kids, but it's about us. About us. Let's be real. It's about us.
It definitely. I want it to be as close as humanly possible.
Yes. That I am with you. All right, Kev, as we, before we head to the top of the hour, the Cleveland Cavaliers, by the way. Oh, NBA talk to close it out before we head into the next hour of the show. They didn't make a move. They didn't make a move at the trade deadline. Kobe Ottman, general manager for the Cavs, said that there wasn't anything that would move the needle, and the Cavs want to give this young core a try. There were so many big moves, and here's the thing. I thought that the Cavs got vastly better at the trade deadline, and they didn't have to do anything to do it. The Brooklyn Nets crumbling in front of them, or I guess I should say they're now behind them, but the Cavs are sitting there at that fourth spot. The Nets were a scary team when they had Kyrie playing well, even without Durant. Durant was supposed to be coming back. I actually thought Brooklyn was just going to wreck everybody in the East. Well, now their whole roster's wrecked. They're 10 games above 500. I've never seen the team 10 games above 500 and leaning towards being the favorites to come out of the East or contending and then blowing it all up at the deadline. Crazy stuff, but that's where we're at. I like the 35-32, Kev. They're 13 games above 500. It's actually the most games above 500 that they've been all season. They got to 11 games, I think, on 4 different occasions. They could never surpass that. They're now at 13 games above 500, 5 games back of the Celtics in the East, which, by the way, they have beat twice. They've beat in Cleveland, and they've beat on the road in Boston. Now, that was in the first month of the season, but nonetheless, they've competed with Milwaukee. They've been right there with Philadelphia. I don't know why, like when he says there wasn't a move to move the needle, want to give this young group an opportunity to grow together. We still talk about this team. I feel like they're giving them an out, Kev. This team is young, but they're not young. They're new. They're not young. I mean, Mitchell wasn't brought over to give him 3 years to get this thing going. Like, that was a move because you're ready to compete and compete now. Mobley's year 2 in the league. I get why you're still waiting to kind of figure out what you got with him. But Jared Allen's been around a long time. Karis LeVert's an experienced player that I thought they were going to move on from him. They ended up keeping him. I'm kind of glad they did. They might need the depth with him as they head into the playoffs and stuff. This team's a very, very good team. The national media, I think, can't get over the fact that it's Cleveland, and I think that's why. But I think you put this roster in Boston, you put this roster in Philadelphia, I think they're getting all the praise in the world. So people are ripping this team right now, but y'all don't realize they made the biggest move that you could imagine a month before the season started, going out and get Donovan Mitchell. This team is set up. I can't wait for the playoffs. This Cavs team, it has me energized again to follow the NBA and follow a team and not just an individual like I've done with LeBron for so long.
The only move out there to be made was to get a 3-and-D guy. The best 3-and-D guy out there that was available was Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder got traded from the Suns to the Nets, then eventually traded to the Bucks for 5 second-round picks. Outside of that, I don't see any moves that the Cavs could have made, because what are they going to do? Go get another wing guy? Well, they got 2 wing guys. Like, there's just nothing to do. The only piece that needs fixing, so to speak, would be that 3 spot with Isaac Okoro. And to be honest, he's been playing better. So I really don't have a problem with it. I would have loved to kind of like, all right, get off of Kevin Love's contract. I was telling you about that during the break. My pops hit me up and was like, we're not going to trade Kevin Love. We're just going to keep him. And I was like, well, he gives us playoff experience. There's only 2 guys on the team that have playoff experience. That would be Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Love. That's going to come in handy in the playoffs. No, Kevin Love's not playing right now. He's got a broken finger or whatever. So by April, I think Kevin Love will pay dividends. I love the fact that they stayed pat. I still think there'll be a top 4 seed in the East. Freddie Coleman, I told you that back when they made that trade for Donovan Mitchell, will be a top 4 seed, and they will be.
Nonetheless, but other moves that caught your attention around the NBA trade deadline today. How about local guy, Luke Kennard, former Franklin Wildcat, of course, great high school basketball player, one of my all-time favorites, no longer in Los Angeles, no longer a Clipper. He's now playing with the bad boys. He's now playing with Ja. He's now a Memphis Grizzly.
They need shooting on that team. Desmond Bane is really like the only knockdown shooter.
Shooting almost got him in trouble recently.
Allegedly.
Shooters. They need
Desmond Bane's the only knockdown shooter on that team. They need spacing for Ja to attack the rim and Jaren Jackson. So that's going to help them out a ton. I don't know what he's going to do for them defensively, but, he can knock down shots, and that's what they need.
Jeff Bolenbaugh, shout out to Jeff Bolenbaugh. He says, hello, boy. I remember the weekend you picked up a phone number. Yes, he's one of the parents of the group that we'd go to state tournament with growing up. So, yes,
really?
He got lost in Columbus. So he's laughing about it now, but he was ready to kill me and his son back in the day because we kind of wandered off. Yeah. Just boys being boys.
It is what it is.
Other moves at the deadline that caught your attention. So Luke Kennard going there was big.
Yeah.
A move that I thought was big that did not happen. Obi Toppin, maybe not a big on a national scale, but for us here, Flyer fans want him out of New York. I want him out of New York because what I want to know is are Dayton Flyers fans being homers and saying that, they are sitting on a star and that they are burying Obi Toppin? I want to know if that's the case because I want to see him shine elsewhere. I would love to see him with the Pacers. I just went to a Pacer game in Indiana this past weekend. Not a long drive. I would love him in Indiana. I'd love to go watch Obi on the regular over there with the Pacers. The Pacers, a report kind of came out about an hour before the deadline. They're interested in Obi Toppin. They ended up going out and getting a couple guys, so they ended up not ending up with Obi. I was a little bummed. I thought Cleveland, I was like, man, what if, the Knicks they're going for it, and Karis LeVert, the Cavs are kind of sitting on. I think Obi makes a lot of sense in Cleveland. I would have loved to see the Cavs got a deal done for Karis LeVert over to the Knicks to get Obi Toppin, but the Knicks, they sat on that one. Not a national big move, but I thought it was a big move around here that they chose not to move on from Obi Toppin.
Yeah, we want to see Obi play a lot more. He's kind of log jam behind NBA All-Star and Julius Randle. A team that I think he would fit well with would be the Hawks. They're a very up-and-down team. They push the pace. They can use his athleticism. I know Collins is a free agent next season for the Hawks, so he could slide right into that spot and play that power forward position for the Hawks and be that high flyer that they could use. Or a team like the Charlotte Hornets, who are a very high-paced running team with LaMelo Ball, somebody you can get out there on the floor and throw alley-oops to and just use his athleticism to the max. So those two teams, if I'm them, I'm looking to make a deal for Obi in the offseason.
Yeah, I want to see Obi out of New York. That's for sure. And especially, too, because it'd be cool. I don't know what Tumani Kamara with Dayton showing a lot of signs of being a NBA, prospect. He is an NBA prospect, but being a legit NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
We know that's where we're seeing Deron Holmes. He's trending in that direction. But we could be talking about in the next year, 2 years, with 3 Dayton Flyers floating around the league. And obviously you have Jalen Crutcher, who's been floating around in pro ball, whether it's the G League or overseas or what have you. But that's legitimate 3 Flyers that could be kind of floating around throughout the NBA that I'm really hoping to see, because I think that would be a lot of, especially when we build our parlays and stuff, little individual UD parlay builders, right? I think that'd be kind of neat. So nonetheless, I do want to say this, tomorrow night, Wright State, Northern Kentucky, 9:00, ESPNU at the Nutter Center. They got a player, man, that Trey Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
If Trey Calvin was on the Dayton Flyers, this kid would be bigger than I think he's better than Malachi Smith. I don't care. It's my hot take for the day. Trey Calvin, I will take him over Malachi Smith any day of the week. Trey Calvin is a freaking beast, and if he played on Dayton, he'd be beloved by this town. That's not a shot at Trey or Wright State. It's just the reality of it. So what I'm urging people to do, go support Wright State tomorrow night at the Nutter Center. It's a green out. Wright State, Northern Kentucky, big-time rivalry game. Trey Calvin's the real deal. And you want to talk about players. You want to talk about the transfer portal and all these opportunities where these kids leave and bail. They build themselves a name. And I shouldn't say bail, because I have no problem with the guys leaving like Basili and some of them guys that left from Wright State. But those guys had opportunities dangled in front of them. They took it and left. The opportunities that I found out were dangled in front of Calvin that he chose not to take and stay here because this is what he wanted to build and announce he's coming back next year. I'm all about supporting guys like that, especially if we're going to sit there and get mad at athletes because they're always chasing something bigger and better. I want to make sure we're highlighting someone like Trey Calvin. Kev, how about this? This is the kid that hit the game winner. For one, he hit multiple game tying shots.
Right.
He sent the tying shot that sent the game into overtime against Davidson earlier in the year. He hit the game winner against Louisville at Louisville. But he has had some monster games this year. 27 points against Miami of Ohio, 27 points against Detroit, 26 against Purdue Fort Wayne, 44 against Youngstown State. Woo! I mean, there was a triple overtime game last week that he hit 3 game tying shots to send into 3 overtime, into regulation, 2 overtimes. Dwayne Cohill, former Flyer, of course, he puts Wright State out of their misery. He had 24 points 2 days later after that 44-point performance in triple overtime, 24 points against Robert Morris in their win there. You look all up and down the stat line, 24, 27, 31, 44, 26. This kid's a dog. So go support him. Go support Wright State. You obviously have Amari Davis, who played at Trotwood, but I just want to make sure we're highlighting them as well because we talk a lot of Dayton Flyers, but Wright State has a very good team this year, not as good as they've been in years past, but the only reason they're even remotely good is because of this Trey Calvin kid, who, as I said, hot take, y'all don't have to like it. He's the best. He's the best point guard in Dayton. He is the best point guard in Dayton. He is the best in Dayton. I'm telling you, go watch him.
Might be the best point guard in Ohio.
Yeah. Who's Ohio State's point guard?
Me.
We trade Tanner Holden for Trey Calvin. I think Ohio State's. I think they try to make a trade deadline. I think they try to make a trade at the deadline. Bob Grant was like, "No, this is college. We can't. What are we doing here?" Nonetheless, all right. Kennard and Kev right here, 1410 ESPN Radio. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, is officially live in Ohio. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime and anywhere right here in Ohio with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with code WING1410 and bet $5 or more will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. The Super Bowl is coming up, and I got Philadelphia on the money line, plus their defense to score a touchdown. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers can use code WING1410 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. That's code WING1410 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and up. Physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositor who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See dkng.co/OH for terms.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our ultimate Sleep Number event. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Want to make tonight's dinner a perfect 10? Swing by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 10-piece strips meal for only $24.99. With 10 freshly marinated, honey-dipped premium tenderloins, 3 dipping sauces, 2 of our irresistible large sides, and 5 fluffy biscuits, it's family time made from scratch. Take home a top-notch dinner the whole family will love from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our 10-piece strips meal for only $24.99. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affected